Hi everybody, Don Campbell here, and I wanted to take you on a quick tour of the local search ranking factors report that David Mim pulls together every year. And this is a wealth of information about local search ranking, and he interviews something like 30 plus, experts from around the world on what they think are the primary factors. And there are something like 79 possible positive factors and about 18 negative factors, and he has everybody rank those and come through and decide, which ones do you think are on top. And one of my favorite parts to not just kind of looking through the rankings, but also just looking at the comments that people leave. So there's a lot of nuggets of wisdom in there, so to speak. And I'm really honored to be among the group of people that contribute to this report. And thought I'd take you on a real quick tour of the report, especially if you're new to this, just to kind of see how it's structured and everything. So this is the local search ranking factors report, and David puts a nice little introduction here, and then he kind of scrolls down. And this year, the survey was based on two different kinds of results. Here you see what are called the pure local results. These are the MAPS results that you're probably used to seeing. You can see the number of reviews and the place markers there. But in October, Google launched something called Place Search Results, which introduced a new type of search result called a blended result. And there's a lot of speculation on what causes one or the other type of result to display. And that's another part of the report that he asked people for. And there's a lot of opinions. That is kind of an interesting read. There's a whole other page here, which I'll include the link below, called Blended versus Pure Local Search, where he asks people what do they think are the factors. So it's kind of funny to read these because they're kind of all over the board. None of us really know for sure what causes one or the other type of result to appear. So anyway, the way you read this report is you kind of move down, and what he does is kind of breaks out the top 10 factors. So these are the factors, if you just wanted the summary and you wanted to say, what are the main things that I could focus on? It would be these top 10 probably. It'd be things like, your physical address of your business is in the city of the search, manually verifying the place page, making sure you have the proper category associations, having a lot of citations to your listing, making sure that your address on your web page matches what's on your Google Place page, the website, how well does your website rank and how many links are coming to that. Also making sure that the phone numbers are the same on the website and on the Places page, that you've got a local area code, not an 800 number on there, and that your city and state is in the title of your Places page. So those are kind of like what everybody's sort of ranked as the top 10 factors. And then below that, you'll see a bunch of interesting comments for these things. And what we kind of found was, or what I sort of took away after reading through it, is most of the traditional factors still apply from previous years. Things like manually claiming your listing, the location of your business, having clean name, address, and phone number information across the different directories, getting citations, and properly choosing categories. Also, I noticed an emphasis on reviews. So, online reviews, things like quantity and quality of online reviews, sentiment of online reviews, which I'm still not sure that's a factor, but there are some people that do think that, and also velocity of online reviews. And what I've been noticing from year to year is that things like online reviews are getting more and more relevant. So yeah, so you can kind of scroll down and through and see there's something like 79 different factors that were ranked. And you can kind of he goes through the pure ranking factors. So for the pure local results, then the blended factors. I'm just kind of scrolling through, and make sure to read some of these comments. There's a lot of really good advice in here. And then things like about online reviews, what people think works there and what doesn't work. And then place page advice for the blended local rankings. So you can kind of scroll down. I'm not going to, go to every one of these sections now, but just to kind of give you a flyby here, and you can kind of read through after looking at all the rankings, kind of what the comments were from people on all these different areas. Now, the other thing that's pretty cool is he also points out a few negative factors. Things like, hey, what are things that you see that really torpedo somebody's ranking result? Things like stuffing keywords into the categories and things like that. And here there are 18 possible or 19 factors here, and those are ranked as well. And the number one was, a mismatch in the phone numbers across the data system. So maybe a business that's got many different phone numbers, Google can't quite be sure, hey, is this the right business or not? So things like that. And then once again, more comments. So those are pretty neat. And then he wraps it up with a list of the most important citation sources and the most important review engine sources. What's kind of interesting this year is Yelp was on the top of both of those lists, which is interesting, I guess. Yelp is obviously super important, but I didn't think of it as a top citation source, but clearly it's important. And then the other thing that I thought was interesting is Bing isn't on either of these lists. And Bing was struggling a little bit with the whole local stuff, but they did about a month ago, they kind of relaunched their local listing center. It's called the Bing Business Portal, and they put a lot of effort and did a lot of really cool things with that. So I'm hoping next year that starts to show up as one of the top citation sources as well. So anyway, I just wanted to take you on a quick tour of this, and thank you, David Mim, for pulling this all together. I mean, there's a ton of work he puts into this report, and I think I've seen over the past several years, all the value that's created for business owners out of this. A lot of businesses have benefited from this. I've benefited from it, and I've met a lot of really, really smart people going through this process, other contributors to the report and everything. And it's been really, really cool. So thanks, David. And I hope that this is a nice overview for you guys. And I hope that you will go and read this report and get something valuable from it. Thanks for listening.